Hello and welcome to my latest video. I'm here in the sunny south of France. It's been cold at night though. This is the first time I've been here in November, and as you can see the sun is lovely, but at night I've had to put the heating on before I go to bed, and this morning I had to put it on just for a few minutes until the sun came round. Anyway, this video is about my trip south, which was not without events, unexpected events that is. But anyway, all's well, I'm here and I hope you enjoy the video. The van's all packed, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm sporting these now, look at these. Brand new tyres. Michelin Cross Climate I think they're called. But they're mud and snow, so hopefully I won't really need them, but I've got them now. So if it is a little muddy at home, maybe these will help. I've started my journey, but it's in rush hour. It's 10 to 9. I used to do this sort of thing every day, but I haven't done that for 15 years, and so every time I'm stuck in traffic, it's really frustrating. Well, I'm on the ferry. It was completely empty, or rather there was about 3 or 4 vehicles when I came on. But they're trying to fill it up with lorries, but I don't think there's many of those if I look at back there. Anyway, I'm on an earlier ferry, which is a bonus. I'm on the 1425 Fine. Christmas trees, it's only beginning of November. Dreadful. Apart from the lorries, it's completely deserted. I'm all on my own in the car lanes. No bad thing. I stopped here last night, not sure what you can see. It's quite dark. It's at a place called Gaillefontaine. It's a big car park area, and there's even, over the back there, there's even toilets. Well, a toilet and water and waste disposal point. It's a little bit close to the main road, and the lights stayed on all night, but it's a very handy place to stop the night. It's still early, it's still only almost before 6, but I've woken up, so having coffee and then I'll be on my way. It's 20 past 8, I've been driving 3 hours, I think. I can't remember when I set off. It's only just got daylight really. This is a place called Châteauneuf-de-Thémeraie. I'm in the regions that's called Centre. So I have got through Pas-de-Calais and then Normandy, and now I'm approaching, I think this department is the Eure-et-Loir, but I'm not sure. I saw a sign, that was a long while ago, and I haven't seen another one since, or I haven't noticed another one since. Just stopped for a coffee in a village or town. I'll check the name, I'll put it on the captions. But it turns out it's, I think, the home of Marcel Proust, or at least there's a museum of his aunt's house and a museum dedicated to him, so I assume this is where he came from. Mid-morning, I say, just had a coffee, and then I'll be continuing my journey. The village or town is Illiers-Combray, and it bills itself as a little city of character. And a nice place to park under the trees. Not night spot, I think, because it's a bit slopey and it is quite close to this, which is the main road through the town. I'm just approaching Châteaudun. I don't know whether you can see the massive fortress in the middle of it. Presumably that is the Château of Dun. But I think I'm going on a bypass. So that was the last of that. I have my sat-nav set up for avoiding autoroutes. So I've come through some of the suburbs of Blois. But I'm now dropping to the Loire, where I shall cross and then be officially in the southern half of France. Which is fairly full of water. Often it's all sandbanks, but not today. Found a spot, a little tiny way from the Loire. There's the Loire, looking rather full at the moment, and there's my van. I'm going to have an early lunch and then continue. Garmin does send me on some odd roads sometimes. This looks interesting though. It's the Cher. Half the size of the Loire, of course. Quite a big river though. I've been here before, but I'm not sure which direction I approached from. This is the from the road on the left there. This is the memorial to Section F. I think it's a Second World War thing, but I just have to look it up because I don't know what it is. And this is Valençay, and I remember this tree-lined avenue down to the chateau. I've passed through here a few times. There's a motor museum on the left, just past the supermarket, but I've never been in it. I've not seen it open. Even when I was accidentally or unexpectedly put into a classic car event there, when my friend Jono and I were driving through and they waved us into it, but no, it's shut. And there is part of the chateau. I think that's the end, because when you see it from the bottom it's much bigger than it looks there. Oh look, there's an exhibition of Harry Potter Lego. Well, whatever next. This particular part of the route has got a lot of very fine chateau on it. there's one here. I saw it on the way in, but I don't know whether the camera will be able to pick it up. And again, the sat-nav's taking me right through the middle of the town rather than around the outskirts, so we might see it or we might not. It's 1:05. There's a big church on the left. Yeah, it's 1:05. And so, is that the reason it's deserted, or is it just because this is a typical town in France that does seem to be deserted most of the while? I've come on the autoroute. I'll explain more later, but I'm going to try and get to Steve's tonight because I need to do a little bit of work on the van tomorrow. I'm just a little north of Limoges and the sun's come out and nearly all the clouds are gone, so I hope I'm going to have a sunny rest of the journey, although when I leave the autoroute I'll be heading west straight into the setting sun. I'm in my home region. It's 4:30. My van says it's 15 degrees. I've just passed a sign that said 19, but I think that's a bit hard to believe. And now I'm crossing the Dordogne. That was Souillac, where I've camped before. I imagine all those campsites are shut as they're touristy ones. It's 6 o'clock French time. The sky doesn't look as blue as it does on the camera, but it is it's not quite dark yet. I arrived at Steve Hill's last night, just doing my usual wander around to see what he's got in to work on. I think the Mahari that was here last time is gone. Yep, looks it. It's cold. It was 2 degrees this morning. Forecast is that sun's going to reach us eventually and climb. He's got this two-tone grey Charleston. Ah, as I suspected, right-hand drive. Although it is French registered. And then indoors we have this. An early Mahari. It's been rebodied, as you can see, but it's a Swiss specification early model, which means it's got dual circuit brakes, but not the ones that Citroën later fitted. I think it's unusual to Switzerland. I think Steve might have said Netherlands as well. A reason I've come to Steve's early was on my first night there was a body of a dead wild boar in the road and I wasn't able to avoid it, and I heard a crash underneath the van, and when I stopped to fill up with fuel I could see there was water running out. Now it's quite easy to drop the waste water tank, and this is it, and this is where the wild boar body hit, and it's pushed that and split, if you can see it, split here. So I'm hoping I can repair that, but I don't know about this. I'm going to have to try and get this off and see what's what. Now I've got the outlet out. That should be inside there, and then this screws into that. So I'm not sure whether it's going to be repairable. Good morning again from the sunny south of France. Not a cloud in the sky, but there's a codicil to that. It's icy. I hadn't expected it to be quite this cold, but I've got central heating in the van, so I wasn't cold last night, although heating didn't come on last night, didn't come on until very early this morning. That's the view south. I'm hoping it will warm up and I can get the van back on its wheel and head off to Paul's and see if we can have a go at gluing the flange back into the tank so that the outlet pipe can screw into it. That's the plan anyway. It's 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. I've just left Paul's. The tank has been glued and we put it back on again. Hopefully it won't leak, but I won't find out until I fill it or use it. And I'm now doing the last little bit, the last part of my journey home. I'm very nearly home, 2 days later than expected, thanks to that poor wild boar. The temperature says 19 degrees, which, given I had a frost a couple of days ago, that seems remarkable. And the vines here have still got most of their leaves on. Well, most of the vines have got their leaves on, I should say. There's always a little bit of anxiety when I arrive here, just hoping everything is going to be untouched. Well, the doors are still there and the Diane is still there, so hopefully it's all fine. The grass has been growing. First job, get the solar panels up to make sure I've got some power. I bought solar panels with adjustable frames so I could alter the angle depending what time of the year it is. So I now need to just check. Between November and December it's 45 degrees. This one I call the English Bluetti. It's the first one I bought and it's got English plugs in it. I haven't connected it yet, so it's not going to turn on quite yet. I'll just go and connect the first set of panels and then do the second ones. Alright, I know I've been away 4 weeks, but it's dropped to 2%, almost no power left in this one. And there's only 170 watts going in. I'll connect the second set of panels and see what that goes up to. I've connected the second set of panels and we've now got 440 watts going in-ish, which is much better. I've had to actually move the front row of panels much further from the back because, of course, at this angle they were putting the back ones in shade, so I've moved the back ones back a bit and moved the front ones forward a bit. See how that goes. If necessary I can move them again. I've got quite a lot of spare cable. Just looking at the plants, hopefully nothing else died while I was away. Everything looks the same as I left it. And there has been rain because the grass is damp. I suppose it could be the dew. It was foggy this morning, wasn't it? But the cactus is still growing. I'll do a better walk around later, but oh yeah, look, that's full. It might not be a good thing to be full, but it does mean there has been some rain to keep everything alive. Yeah, the bougainvillea is still alive, thankfully. This is the French Bluetti now connected. I'll plug in the power and see how much battery life remained in this. Now, I suppose I'll turn this on because there's nothing coming out of the other one. %. So one Bluetti's lost all its charge and the other one has lost a third. I wonder what Bluetti would have to say about that. But it's not ideal. Thank you for watching that video. It's turned rather dull and cold now, but this was forecast. There's even a few spots of rain around. Hopefully it won't last too long, but I have got full batteries, so I'm just going to shelter indoors and do some indoory things and wait for the sunshine to return. Anyway, thank you. Goodbye.